Moon Knight, episode 2 finally came out this past Wednesday. And right now, and since I'm on Rotten Tomatoes, I went ahead and looked. The critic score, I think, actually came up from last week. It's now up to 86% for the critics. It's at 94% on an audience score. Chris, you saw episode 2. You are the film geek. You tell us, what happened?
Well, first of all, the first episode, it didn't give you nothing to go on too much, but it just left you hanging to where you're just like, I want more. I don't know what this is, but I want more. Especially someone like me who does not know much about Moon Knight. The second episode, it did give more depth of what's going on, but it's one of those things where it's like it's a struggle power to where he's fighting himself and like, oh, he finds out he's married. He finds out his whole life has changed now because this other character, this other part of him has done all these things, and it just gives more detail into all of that and just whole fighting with himself thing, but it still keeps you going like, this is actually really good. So
I have exactly one criticism for this week's episode 2. Now, episode 1 impressed me. Episode 2 mostly impressed me until we get to the fight with the puppy dog the invisible puppy dog in the street with the bus.
yeah,
When all of a sudden Stephen Grant and mercenary Mark Spector, they both use the same body. It's Stephen Grant's body. Stephen Grant is a schmuck. He's a schlemazel. And Mark Spector's the one who can actually fight. So Stephen Grant's in charge of the Moon Knight body, and he's going to fight this invisible dog. Roll with it. And boy, did I just feel Deadpool vibes at that moment, right down to the expressions on his eyeballess little face. And
oh wow, I didn't think of it.
And it just took me straight out of the episode. I just like, ugh. I mean, I understand having a tongue in cheek. Okay, of all the people, I understand tongue in cheek. I understand keeping a sense of humor. Not the right place for it. But aside from that, and that's just nitpickery. Okay, all in all, through second episode of Moon Knight, this is actually one of the better efforts in Phase 4 of Marvel so far.
Yeah.
This is one of the better efforts. I'm actually looking forward to seeing episode 3 and see how this turns out. Got 2 down, 4 to go. So let's do the... you got anything else to say on this before we do the streaming?
I love the whole setting of it, the atmosphere of it, because you can totally tell, yeah, they're shooting this in another country. You know?
Yeah.
It's like you can totally tell it, and it's like, oh, so Disney literally has... or Marvel literally has their own crew working nonstop on this one show, and they're across seas.
The way it ought to be. They're isolated from all the nonsense.
Yeah, they're doing their own thing, and you can totally tell it, and it's like, yes, you know? Because I know sometimes writers and directors, they're like, we're working on this show, and then they have to go and work on this show, and all that. So, yeah, I mean, it's really awesome. I like it.
So, on the scale of 1 to 5, and 1 being blow it off, and 5 is you gotta subscribe for this. 5 is a killer app, and I would say, it's just the killer app The Mandalorian is. Not quite, but it's actually pretty close.
Yeah.
I would wait till all 6 episodes come out and then pay for a 1-month subscription and then cancel so I can watch the 6 episodes all at once. But which kind of defeats the purpose of stringing them out 1 episode a week. But I'd rather pay 1 month than 2 months for this. But yeah, this would be worth the subscription. I think especially if you haven't seen The Mandalorian yet. Then this would make a nice month of programming for you this summer. So.
Oh yeah.